You bet your bottom dollar he would. That's where all the money is, of course. So, former two-time champion, hoping for another crack at the heavyweight title.
We are back at the Xanadu here at the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey, as Impact Sports Productions, in association with Trump Taj Mahal, proudly present this evening's main event. It was approved by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board, the Honorable Larry Hazard Senior Commissioner, the Honorable Jerry Gormley Chairman, Gary Shaw and Al Daniels Sr., members of the board. The chief physician in attendance at ringside this evening is Dr. Frank B. Doggett, along with his fine colleague, Dr. Charles E. Wilson. Our judges, Joe Pasquale, Frank Brunette, and Eva Shane. Our timekeeper at the bell is Lindsay Tucker. Counting for the knockdown seconds, alternate referee Rudy Battle. In the ring at this time, the man in charge of the scheduled 10-round heavyweight bout, referee Eddie Cotton. And now, my good friends, introducing the principals. First in the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the red trim. He weighed in at an even 231 pounds. This fella has 10 wins, 7 losses with 5 knockouts. All the way from Bastrop, Louisiana. And now making his home in Spring Lake, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on now Nathaniel Sweet Red Fitch. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing a white trunks with the black trim. He weighed in at even 229 pounds. Now he has 39 wins, only 4 losses, with 25 big knockouts. The former two-time heavyweight champion of the world, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ladies and gentlemen, here is terrible Tim Witherspoon.
So that's tonight's main event then, the former double heavyweight champion of the world. And you may remember, he first won that back in, 10 years ago now, 84. He beat Greg Page on points, lost it in his first defense to Pinklon Thomas, but actually made him his name in a losing fight in his first challenge against Larry Holmes in 83. He was outscored. And of course became WBA champion in 86, outpointed Tony Tubbs over 15 rounds. And then, of course, made the first defense against Frank Bruno. Beat Frank in 11 before he was stopped in a round by Bone Crusher Smith, who was a substitute opponent. And you've seen Fitch before on Eurosport, getting walloped in 7 by Jeremy Williams. But last time out, he was stopped in 4 by Bruce Seldon in a challenge for the IBF Intercontinental title. And you've got to go back to his last win in 1992. He beat a man everybody beats, Ricky Parkey, former cruiserweight champion, in 4 rounds. But Witherspoon really is the interesting character here. He's looking in pretty good shape considering only 10 pounds heavier in his last fight than he was when he actually won the title. In fact, he's 7 pounds heavier. My apologies. Some other names on the Smith record, some good wins. He beat the former European champion from Sweden, Anders Eklund, in the first round back in 89. And beat Carl Truth Williams in 91 for the USBA title. Defended once against Art Tucker. And had that shocking loss, of course, 3 fights ago, beaten by Everett Bigfoot Martin. And that was Martin's first win in 5 years. So Fitch then comes into this one with a puncher's chance. He's won 10, lost 7, stopped 5. Witherspoon's won 39, lost 4, stopped 25. And Big Tim, an inch bigger at 6'3". So Tim Witherspoon then desperate to get himself a crack at George Foreman's WBA and IBF titles. And I must admit, Big George is there for the beating, that's for sure. I've got a sneaking suspicion that the German Axel Schultz will do it. The other heavyweights around at the moment, of course. You've got Oliver McCall is WBC King, and Herbie Hyde is WBO champion. Referee for this one, Ed Cotton. And he might just have a wee bit of work to do because I think these two are apt to lean on the inside as Tim Witherspoon takes the opening round. Scheduled for 10, this one. So then we've got round 2 coming up. Fitch are pros since 1988. But Witherspoon, well, he's been around since the late 70s, 79 in fact when he's a professional. And his first loss was when he fought Larry Holmes in 83. So here we go then, round 2. And funny enough, Fitch was actually beaten in his professional debut, outscored. Lives in Bastrop, Louisiana, but comes from Spring Lake, North Carolina. 37 years of age. Fitch. Stiff jab there from Witherspoon. Fitch these days, I'm afraid, no more than a durable punch bag type of opponent. I say durable, he's been stopped in his last 2. Bruce Seldon, well, he's a fair punch on his day, but I'm afraid the lights have gone out for him. And Jeremy Williams, well, he wouldn't have thought he'd have had the size to have dealt a severe dent to Fitch, but of course we saw that on Eurosport. It was on the floor, in fact, a few times, Fitch in that one. And you'd imagine that if Seldon and Williams can stop this man, so can Witherspoon. Of course, they get a big name opponent like Witherspoon, and it tends to make a fighter kind of go in above himself, produce more than he would normally. And Fitch knows that this is a good way of making a name for himself, albeit late in his career. And I must admit, by Witherspoon's standards, he's in very good shape. He did once go up to almost 250 pounds. And some pretty reasonable punches there from Witherspoon getting home. Witherspoon looking for an early finish here. So a good round then for Witherspoon, and Fitch coming back to the corner. Looking slightly worse for wear, I'm afraid. Let's have another look at some of that then. Crunch downstairs with the right. And again with the left that time, then up to the head. Into round 3. So Witherspoon then, still on the advance. And Fitch very sensibly skipping away. But of course, you've got to wonder how far those old legs of his will take him. Although standing his ground here, getting home with a few punches. And must be quite surprised as well at that. And Fitch has always fancied himself as a puncher, but he's not too fond of taking it, is he? He's only been stopped twice in his life, and that was in his last 2 fights. So you've got to suggest that Nat's on the way down now. Well and truly, in fact. Witherspoon, on the other hand, has only been stopped once. And that was that shocking loss to Buncrusher Smith back in '86. Well, for sure, Fitch had his moments at the start of this 3rd round, but I'm afraid Witherspoon really just staying on top of him here, making him use lots of energy for no good reason. Of course, if Witherspoon got himself a crack at George Foreman, it's conceivable that he'd be athletic enough and tough enough to withstand old George for 12 rounds. Let's face it, Tommy Morrison did. At the moment, Witherspoon ranked number 28 by the Independent World Boxing Rankings. And I'll tell you how serious this match is, because Fitch is down at number 107. So 15 seconds left in the 3rd. I would like to see Witherspoon showing a bit more variety, a bit more imagination here. He's still winning it, but it's just not looking that impressive, is he?
Do you know about Eurosport's teletext? When you've tuned into our channel, press the VT button on your remote control.
So we've had 3, and we've got 7 more to come. And just to remind you that Nat Fitch has won 10, lost 7, and stopped 5 in his career. 6 feet 2 inches tall, 37 years of age, known as Sweet Red. Tim Witherspoon's won 39 times, lost just 4, and stopped 25. He's 6 feet 3 and boxes out of Philadelphia. This one's scheduled for 10, and that was the beginning of the fight. The best moments for Fitch. So round 4 then, and I would anticipate that Fitch's best moments will come at the beginning of each round. Well, both men staying very close to each other here. Fitch trying to close him down to prevent Witherspoon getting off with a big shot. And Tim's always been a respectable puncher. He's always been durable. And you may have seen him interviewed on one of our Eurosport boxing shows. He said, all those big guys with names, they don't want to fight me because I'm too dangerous. Well, maybe there's something in that. But then again, maybe not. Well, it's a bit of an untidy maul, isn't it? Both men leaning on each other. Not a great deal to shout about here, I'm afraid. But it's worth taking a look at Witherspoon because he could just suddenly burst on the world title scene. To go then in the fourth. And once again, Fitch, well, he's scuffling around out there. Oops, a daisy. No, just caught him off balance. And Fitch sometimes a hard man to break open, isn't he? Well, close round, but once again, I think it's Witherspoon's. So 4 gone then. There's big, terrible Tim. Got a boxing brother.
Got a little small cut, but I'll take care of it. Oh, yeah,
Once you're in there tight, you want to come up with a hard 4 or a hard 3, okay? Or a 4 with the left hand, okay? 4 or 5. Same, man, you take it close like that. Keep wide open on your right or on your left shoulder. Okay? So hard.
That's a stiff straight left, followed by a hook off the jab, but I think it was more a case of balance than anything. Round 5. Oh, that's a good start to the round again from Fitch. And of course, being 38 years of age, the things that came naturally 10 years ago simply don't anymore. All the ideas are there, but sadly the execution of them leaves a great deal to be desired. And that's what you call the age factor. Although heavyweights seem to go on an awful lot longer than most other fighters, they don't seem to show the wear and tear that readily. But certainly the Witherspoon of 10 years ago would have dealt with Fitch in a much more ruthless kind of fashion. And that's the problem with these ancient old fighters. Most of it's done on memory. But Witherspoon thinks he's got a future. His backers think he's got a future. And as I say, this is such a unpredictable world, heavyweight boxing. And heavyweight boxing has its own rules, remember. And still, anything can happen. Someone's being lined up for a world title shot. Suddenly they get injured. Or politically it doesn't suit. Who's around? Who's available? Who's got credibility? Hey, Tim Witherspoon. And suddenly there he is. And he wins. George Foreman did. And it's a nice finish to the round for Witherspoon now. Half a minute to go. Fitch still there. Still scuffling away. But to be honest, to him, he's a trial horse. He's just a little bit of work for Witherspoon. Although I must admit, I'd like to see Witherspoon more effective than this. Oh, Dow catches him then. Right hook on the chin, and Fitch felt that one. Down he goes. And that's right on the bell. Still a 10-8 round for Witherspoon. Well, he's up at 9 and trudges back to his corner. Well, that's a good finish to the round from Witherspoon. Right hook to the chin, and it put Fitch over.
You got to dig down. Now, he's going to come out. You just can't lay there to stop this fight. All you got to do is give me about 2 shots the way you hit that heavy bag.
There we go again. What's that knockdown, I think? And that was the one that put him over. Legs sagged. Couple more follow-up shots, and I think the safest place for Fitch was on the deck. Half pushed, half punched over. So round 6 then. This one, of course, scheduled for 10, so this is the halfway point. Fitch on the floor in the previous round. Witherspoon's got no fear of Fitch, and once again that big left hook catches him to the side of the head. So combined age of 75 years in there. Oops-a-daisy. Left uppercut, right hook to the body, and now Fitch genuinely on the floor. Good punches there from Witherspoon. Oh, up at 9. Well, I think he's a bit reluctant to continue, but badly hurt then. And again, head punches coming in from Witherspoon, driving Fitch back. Oh, and that time wobbling badly from a right hook. Running to survive. Inevitable, the ending, surely. And again the uppercut. And this time down on his haunches. Well, the beginning of the end, surely. Cotton says, hey, if you don't want me to stop it, liven yourself up. Well, that's surely enough. Yes, thank goodness for that. All over. Fitch then cuts on the left eyebrow, but succumbs in 6 rounds to the heavier punching of Tim Witherspoon. Well, all the pre-fight talk evaporates in the aftermath, as it so often does, of course. Well, he's never looked the most athletic of heavyweights, but by his standards, as I say, in pretty good shape. So when will the day come then when some of the ruling bodies get together and decide, or not even get together, but when one of them decides that this man is a genuine heavyweight contender? Then of course we'll know, but very hard to judge the quality of the heavyweight champions. As I say, George Foreman, 45, 46 years of age, WBA and IBF champion. Herbie High, WBO champion. And Oliver McCall is WBC champion, so I'm afraid quality very poor.
The 3 knockdown rule in 1 round in effect. Therefore, referee Eddie Cotton stops this bout at 2 minutes and 18 seconds of the 6th round, and a winner by a TKO, the former 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, Terrible Tim Witherspoon.
So, Terrible Tim then didn't look that terrible on that occasion, but I must admit he didn't look that great either.